Good evening, everyone, and welcome to yet another very interesting session with Suresh ji. Suresh Kochattil is back with us, and today we'll be discussing as to how the whole H-1B visa is being talked to all over media, and each and every day you have new rules being put forth by, say, the Department of Homeland Security in changes in the H-1B visa selection process as well, and also the fact that now that the $100,000 fee on H-1B clearly indicates that Donald Trump is clearly targeting the Indian community because 70% of the H-1B applicants is of Indian origin. So how do you see this whole game being played by Donald Trump as of now?
Well, let us go back into history and understand what H-1B is all about. Why was it brought in 1998, George Bush? And the idea was to get very high skilled, what you call IT employees to work in the US on site. Now, typically, this would mean that that particular talent is not available in the United States, especially in the STEM field, science, engineering, technology, and maths. US was very weak then, yes, admittedly. In fact, one of the studies carried out by the National Science Foundation that time indicated that US was short by 160,000 professionals, which were required for these kind of jobs. But over a period of time, the entire thing has become a big scam. So I have zero sympathy for those who say that they are not getting the H-1B, because what was it meant for? It was meant for very highly skilled professionals, which means in the US, a highly skilled professional would get paid upwards of close to $2 lakh. Okay, now that means they were replacing somebody in the US who should have been paid the same amount, and they are being paid the same amount, so it becomes even Stevens. But over a period of the last 20 odd years, the entire thing has turned out to be a scam. One is a lottery system. Jaydev, what exactly happened was that the entire thing turned out to be a scam from both sides, from the guys who are in India and the guys who are there in the US. Now, obviously, the people being taken on the H-1B have gradually been the skill level has been tapered down. And what was supposed to be highly skilled professionals became guys who were just doing some IT related work in the US. Now, I wouldn't blame Infosys or TCS or anybody for that matter. Look at the latest 2024 data on the top 10 IT companies who have used H-1B in the US. And obviously, as you said, 70% of them are Indians. But look at the fact that only the top 10, only you'll find TCS. I think they're number 3 or number 4, which means Amazon, Google, Meta, everybody has been taking H-1B employees and putting them in their campuses. Now, who is at fault? Is it the Indians at fault, or is it the Americans at fault, the American companies at fault? They're supposed to follow all the rules and regulations when they're supposed to be recruiting these people. Second thing, once you get into an H-1B visa, you are supposed to work for that company. And day before yesterday, I was hearing somebody who was saying, there's no guarantee that this guy will work in my company, because the H-1B is on the individual, not on the company. The company is only applying on his behalf. So tomorrow, if TCS gets me an H-1B and my guy goes to the US, he can abscond after 6 months and join another company without any issue. Of course, there are some small formalities, but still, that's possible. So as I said before, I have zero sympathy with people who have scammed the system. They need to be kicked out. If you ask me, this is what got the goat of the American. Forget President Trump. I know he's very eccentric. He doesn't stick to his words. He says one day the cat is white, next day the cat is black, and third day the cat is brown. He goes on like that. But the point is simple. Now, who bought this upon us? It's our own guys. That is basically, if you come to the city where I live in, Hyderabad, here every guy who does engineering, he has only one dream at the end of the day. I have to go to the US, get one H-1B. Okay, I have to then get a green card and then get a citizenship. That's it. It has nothing to do with the profession or whatever he is doing, because in Telangana and Andhra, the Telugu speaking states, if you haven't gone to the US after doing your engineering, you're a useless character. You're a good for nothing character. Even if you're working in a top job in Hyderabad, okay, earning almost say half or even three-fourth of what you would be earning in the US, but you're still considered good for nothing because see, you haven't gone to US, you have to go there. Only then you become the top notch. Now that entire thing, let us turn the entire thing on its head, the H-1B problem. Why are these guys being taken and put in companies like Meta has done it, TCS has done it, but even the topmost guys, Amazon. Obviously, Amazon wants his guys sitting in their office so that they can control them and get the work done. You would remember a month ago, I think a few weeks ago, there was this young Indian boy who died at Microsoft due to overwork. There's a big hue and cry, and everybody is forgotten except for the family who lost their young boy. Everybody else would be kind of getting over with it and getting on to the next thing. Now, the obvious thing is that they were being overworked and underpaid. So that is where the Trump's labor administration is exactly right. Now, I'm saying, okay, fine, this year's quota is over anyway. What is going to come into this $1 lakh is not now, but it is going to come in, say, from next April onwards. This year's quota is finished, done and dusted, applied, everything is got. The problem is the pipeline for the next year. But in the meantime, a couple of things can happen. One, the court can strike it down. Okay, but Trump has that extraordinary power to control people who enter US. So as a US president, he can do it. So he can still get away with it. Second, these companies will now say, why should I pay 88 lakh rupees to keep an Indian guy in the US when I can just put him across the border in Mexico and get the work done? And he can fly every month to US or every 3 weeks to US on a business visa, attend the meetings and then go back again, or go to Canada, work from there. Or best part, US comes to India. I saw a couple of real estate deals in Bengaluru where big amount of space were taken up a couple of weeks ago by IT companies. Obviously, they knew what was coming. Hyderabad, the Microsoft campus, which is one of the biggest campuses of Microsoft in this world, I think it's almost 15 years old now, Chandrababu Naidu's time. And that campus, next to that is a huge building of Phoenix. And there, Microsoft has taken up 2 floors of 2 lakh square feet for a rent of 4 crore 30 lakhs per month. Now, obviously, Microsoft is not blind, deaf to do this. They knew what was coming. They knew that this entire thing, H-1B, will collapse one day, and they need to get back the employees back to Hyderabad. It is not that that place may seat around, say, 20 or 30,000. There are not 20, 30,000 H-1B guys working in the US. But the point is, the work shifts to India. But our guys don't want to come back. That is the problem. They want to work in the US. Doesn't matter what job it is, but they want to be in the US. So if Microsoft or TCS or Amazon tomorrow asks employees, I mean, look at the Hyderabad facility of Amazon. Huge, massive. Okay. In terms of including the warehouse and everything put together, it is about something in the range of 45 football fields. That is the kind of space they have taken up. So, I mean, it is not, the American companies are not foolish, and Bengaluru is filled with these people. Early in the days when I was working in Bengaluru in Times of India, I'm talking of 1989, 1991, 92. There was only a few companies, Texas Instruments. The electronic city was just coming up. It has just come up, and BTM layout where I stayed was still very, very kind of a middle class locality, and there's nothing much happening beyond that. But today you see Bengaluru, it has blown everywhere into all sides of it, from Whitefield to Electronic City to you name it, and you have IT companies sprinkled everywhere. Obviously, these people are getting the work done. Tomorrow, if I had to pay 88 lakhs to get one guy, I would rather hire 6 people to do the work and still pay them only about 20 lakhs or 15 lakhs each. This is the logic behind it. So what I see is, I don't blame President Trump because that is a part of his campaign, if you know that. He said, he didn't say I will remove H-1B. He could have done that because this was a scheme bought in by President Trump and he could have wished it away. But then it requires a congressional approval. But what he has done is he has tweaked this thing, saying that it is prone to misuse. Now the Labor Department has got involved. They are supposed to be investigating each and every H-1B petition that is put up, which means they'll go through the fine-tooth comb and say, fine, does this skill not exist in the US? Is there no American who's got a skill like this? Okay, then we will get this guy. I'm telling you, 90% of the guys will fall through the net. They will not qualify for it. Maybe 10% of the extraordinary people will qualify it. And for them, President Trump might even give them a direct green card, for all you know. That is what that entire thing is all about. So if you want to get the best to the employees, and I don't blame President Trump, again, let me come back to that point. He is doing what we are doing in India. If Bangladeshis and Rohingyas come and take our jobs, we will do the same thing. And only difference is the Bangladeshis and Rohingyas are not so qualified to do that kind of job, whereas we Indians are good at it. That is the only saving factor. But then you go to America, you undercut the American salary and try and get in. I know I'm going to be very unpopular in this debate. Maybe I'll get abused a lot. Doesn't matter. But I'm being truthful about it. That look what you have done. You have scammed the system. You should have used it properly. Nobody would have had a problem with you. And I'm not faulting the individuals for it. It is the companies who are doing it. Because they are sponsoring these employees. They're paying the initial upfront fee of $5,000 or $10,000 as fees. They're getting the attorneys to do the legal work. It is these companies who are at fault. And they needed to be taken to task. Why is Amazon hiring so many H-1B professionals in the US? Why is Meta hiring so many professionals? Now, we know of that 70% are Indians. It's not that 100% are Indians. 12% are Chinese, which makes it 82%, which means only 18% are from the rest of the world. Now, two, three things can happen, Jaydev. China has already said that it is looking for high-skilled professionals. China will roll out the red carpet, literally red carpet. Europe will do the same. You'll see a lot of European countries now coming and saying, well, we have the same office of Amazon in Europe. Why don't you come and work here? And Amazon might offer them that because some of them don't want to return to India. But these are the same guys who grew up here and then will go and badmouth the traffic, the drainage, the everything else in India, and then claim that US is a land of honey and gold are paved on the road. So all these guys who might not make it in the next set of things, I will not even be surprised if down the line US scraps this entire H-1B and brings in something new. Because there are other visas also, there's O visa and the other thing, there's a lot of other visas you can get to US as a skilled professional. Now, there's a problem is going to be what happens with healthcare sector, for example. Because H-1B is not restricted to only IT employees. It's restricted to, it expands to a lot of other sectors. So if suppose healthcare, if US doesn't have enough of doctors and nurses. In fact, they don't even have more priests also. Their churches are, the people in the fathers and the pastors in the churches in America are mostly from Kerala. When the nuns are going there, because there is less of church-going population in the US now. So what happens to these people? They will need H-1B, isn't it? Even a doctor, highly skilled doctor will need H-1B. A nurse will need H-1B. It is not that nurses are not available in the US, but then at a lower salary. Now, President Trump's team says healthcare is not a part of the, $1 lakh fee you have to pay. So they are out of it. You'll see slowly such exemptions being made because IT companies in the US have tremendous lobbying power. Tremendous. They contribute a lot of money to presidential campaigns. In fact, when President Trump was inaugurated, we saw all these IT honchos there. They were never seen except for Elon Musk, if you can call him an IT guy or IT honcho. Except for him, there was nobody backing President Trump. Everybody was against him. But once he got elected, once he was being sworn in, they had no choice but to go to him. And remember the statement made by President Trump's advisor standing next to him, I think the Commerce Secretary. He said all the IT companies are on board and they're very happy about it. Or was it President Trump who said it? I don't remember who it was. But it was said in that same Oval Room in the White House. Which means the IT companies came and discussed it and then they gave the green signal. Or they did not give the green signal because now we are hearing a lot of murmurs within the IT big companies saying that this is unfair what you're doing. But I'm telling you, in the short term, it will be pain for Indian IT professionals, but in long term, let the work come back to India. Let it come back to Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Chennai, Delhi, Gurgaon, wherever it is. But let it come back to India. We want high-skilled work here. You go through IITs. You're kind of subsidized heavily by the Indian taxpayer to do your IIT, and then you abscond to the US and go and do tremendous work there. I know there's a lot of issues in India. Everybody knows. We are still stuck in the license raj. It's not gone away completely. Okay. There are a lot of ease of doing business. Yes, it has improved a lot, but it is nowhere near that. Bank loans, even private equity. There's an entire lot of issues that we have here. And we can't wish away 60 years of Congress rule just like that. It takes time to get it done. Modi ji has been for 11 years. He's done a lot of changes. But I'm telling you, As was said by many IT professionals, I haven't heard Mohandas Pai and others speak about it. And all of them said the same thing. Even Sridhar Vembu said it, Zoho, saying that I want to, come back. I mean, I want these guys to come back to India and work here. And I'm telling you, one should realize there's an adjunct to this entire thing, Jaydev. I'm sorry, I'm veering away from the conversation a bit. There was this case between, I think, was it one Indian company, and I think it was Nayara, the fuel dispenser, retailer, who said that their SAP, they cannot use the SAP because it has been blocked by SAP company, following sanctions on them due to the Russian oil purchase. Now, SAP India says they have nothing to do with it. It is SAP Europe who controls everything. Now, question to me is tomorrow, should Indian companies buy SAP products? Because now SAP has said that tomorrow they can lock up your accounts. Simple as that. Why don't you switch to Zoho? And that's exactly what Ashwini Vaishnav announced yesterday. This is what India should do. We are bad at making products. We are literally IT coolies. We do only service. Which Indian company has made a great product, an iPad or an iPod or anything for that matter? No, we are a services guys. We didn't make a Facebook. We didn't make a Twitter. We didn't make even a Perplexity. The guy had to go to the US to make it. So this is my entire question boils down is bring the talent home and please swallow your ego. I know the roads are bad. I know the drainage stinks, but this is the land where you were born, and don't kind of try and mock your mother for it. That's what I want to tell these guys.
Yeah. Also, the question is, does India have enough of good universities and also good product based companies to absorb all the people?
Each thing finds its way. Ecosystem finds its way. That is what it is, Jaydev. Uh, you know, Bajaj used to sell third-rate scooters way back in '87 when I bought a Bajaj Super. There was no choice there. Kinetic came along later. And now what are we seeing? We are seeing a whole lot of bikes. We're seeing electronic bikes, electric bikes, everything we are seeing out here. Same thing with the car industry. We evolved because the human beings are like that. When there is a need, we evolve. We straight away can't say IITs are no good. Our IITs are the best. Our BITS Pilani are great. If two guys sitting in a hostel room in BITS Pilani in Hyderabad can make a drone and sell it to the Indian Army, then they are really good. Those guys never complained about not having a great university or not having a great company. They did it themselves. This is what I'm trying to see. We can always complain till the cows go home. I mean, this is what it is all about. The main problem that we need to understand is nobody's perfect. US evolved over years. Today, you look at Silicon Valley or anything for that matter, they were all guys who broke the trend. IBM, we were taught when we were in college, was the world's greatest company. Eastman Kodak was the film company. Where are they now? IBM is still sticking around, but Kodak is gone. And that is what it is all about. Those companies which, like Charles Darwin said, failed to adapt, died. India will have to find it. Where did Zoho come in? Tell me, Jaydev. Did Zoho not happen in India? They happened, isn't it? That too operating out of a rural hinterland, not a glitzy offices in Bengaluru or Hyderabad or Delhi. They are from back of the beyond place. They are working from there. Did anybody in Zoho complain that the infrastructure in Tirunelveli or wherever they're working from is bad? They evolved. Sridhar Vembu, I mean, hats off to that gentleman. I don't know whether he's been given a Padma Shri, but I'm telling you, he should be given a Padma Shri. He is the gentleman who showed that an Indian company can do it and do it well. And we have numerous such examples. Our hospital sector, what may we may criticize them, our healthcare sector is the best even now. I have a friend of mine who came from London last week. The first thing she did was, second day she landed, she asked me, can you tell me a good dentist? Because it's taking me 6 months to get an appointment in UK. I need to see a dentist. Next day she got an appointment and the root canal started. Treatment. This is what we are good in many things. We are bad in many things. The bad will fall by the wayside and the good will prosper. I'm not saying there are no Indian companies. There are Indian companies. Where did all the small startups come in? The problem, as Piyush Goyal said the other day, was we are still feeding the hungry, and that is what we are doing. All your Zeptos and Swiggies and Zomatos are doing that. We are feeding the hungry. We haven't developed a product. We need to do that. We need to develop a whole lot of products there. If our guys can make drones, they can make anything else. And that is what the challenge is all about.
Yeah, and also you'll see Europe and other countries, making use of this opportunity to attract Indian talent as well.
Oh, yeah, that's what exactly I said. Europe will do that. If they're not doing it, they're foolish. Europe should just grab it, be it Germany or France or UK. To forget it. UK is gone now. UK is swamped with who. But I think the other European countries can do wonderfully well, attracting talent from India, and they can, because see, the quality of life mirrors what they get on the American side, and minus all the shootouts that happened in America. So it's relatively a safer place. The kids can get good education. The standard of life will be good. So Europe, why not? I don't mind. I mean, at least as long as they don't put another H-1B there, and then people try and scam them, and then like the marches in Australia the other day, we saw asking Indians to get out. If that's what we did in Australia, imagine why are the Australians, native Australian, taking out a position, right or wrong? The Australian Prime Minister condemned it, but that's not the point. The point is, why are they targeting only Indians? Because we have gone and scammed the system. Follow the rules, do the same thing. Go and go to third rate colleges. Most of the guys who go to US, the guys and girls, I'm telling you, Jaydev, you know it well better than me, are going to third rate colleges. Because the only aim is to get into OPT after that, and then hang around enough to try and get an H-1B, and then hang around enough to get a green card, which kind of takes eternity now. Of course, Trump is now giving a 5 million and you pay and you get a express green card or whatever he wants to call it, which I'm sure the next government will revoke when they come in. So these guys will be left with the money gone in the drain actually.
Um, so, do you see this eventually $100 fee, thing getting rolled back?
It will happen. It will happen. Why? I'll tell you a couple of reasons.
Yeah.
One, as we spoke about, Europe and other countries will do the same thing. Modi ji is speaking about getting Indians back. We had this brain drain. Now we have a reverse brain drain that is going to come. Okay. Not every IITian will want to go and work in the US. I know many friends of mine who are in India, working in Indian companies, working with Indian startups, and doing that. That is the second thing. The third thing, America itself would realize, as being spoken about generally, that innovation will die in America, which is sort of true. I mean, I remember Steve Jobs telling John Scully, was it? Would you like to spend the rest of your life selling sugared water, or would you like to change the world? That is what it is. You need to kind of ensure that you make innovation the best thing. That is why the iPads and the iPods and everything rolled out from the US. Great products, no doubt about it. You look at Tesla today. Why did it roll out of US? No, I mean, no doubt Chinese made a similar thing, BYD and all that stuff. That they are also equally good, but Tesla were the innovators. So with many other American companies and many of the places, we have Indians who are working there. Now, obviously, they would complain, I don't get the same ecosystem in India. There is no support system there. I have to pay bribes. All this kind of excuses will come out. But I don't mind them working in the US. Let them do it. Absolutely no issues at all. Proud of it. Who was Vinod Dham at the end of the day? He made the Pentium chip, isn't it? So it's not that he made it alone, but he had a team with him who made it. There are hundreds of such examples we can quote. But my point is simple. This SAP ruling of day before yesterday by the Delhi High Court, saying that SAP has every right to terminate a software contract they signed with an Indian company because Europe put a ban on SAP to sell it to that Indian company, or rather operate with that Indian company. It is time that we dump it. We dump SAP, we dump every other company, we tell them, sorry, boss, go home, we don't want you. And this is what every Indian company, then these guys will come down. If you want to get a great work done, put your company into, look at Wells Fargo in Hyderabad, massive office. ADP, they do the payroll for the American government sitting here in Hyderabad. Imagine that. I mean, these companies have been there from what, 15, 20 years in Hyderabad. I'm sure they have in Bangalore also. The point is very simple. Beat Pune, beat Bangalore, beat Mumbai, beat Delhi. We have very good companies here, not just American companies. And let us step up from here. Let us stop doing, I hate to use the word IT coolie again, but let us stop doing third rate work, or rather doing some piecemeal work for American companies. Let's get to start and develop great products, which is something we have failed because we are working on margins right now. Some American company comes and says, can you do aviation software? Oh, guy says, yes. Next day, same American company saying, what about banking software? Yeah, we will do banking also. Third day, transportation. Yes, transportation. laws, because they'll go and hire some guys. But what is your core competence? And that is what I'm asking. These companies need to understand that reason why many European companies or even American companies succeed, because they had a core competence in stuck onto. Name one Indian IT company in among the major ones which developed a product. I can only think of Infosys having Finacle as a product, but no other product was sold to the world. I may be wrong. Please put it in the comments. I mean, people can correct me if they're wrong, but this is what it is. We are doing work, outsourced work for American companies. Sorry, that is not what we are supposed to do. We have gone up a level. Remember, when we were in pharma, in the initial stage, we were selling only bulk drugs to US, or for that matter, any country which was making the final formulation. Now, what are we doing? We no longer have the IP thing. We are now making our own drugs and selling it to the rest of the world. India is the pharmacy capital of the world. That is why pharmacy doesn't find a mention in the 50% tariff of President Trump. He's given an exemption for that. So has he given for IT. Because Trump knows that if the same paracetamol guy wants paracetamol in the US, and if he doesn't get it from India, he will have to pay 2 times or 3 times the cost. And that is where our strength is. Okay, material we have copied, we are very good at copying off patent drugs and we're making it all over again. But our guys have done it. We have shown during COVID that we could make a covaxin in India, which is developed in India and manufactured in India by an Indian IT company, Indian pharma company. That is the difference, Jaydev.
Yeah. Also, coming to the last point, Sureshji. Now, Rahul Gandhi comes with a big PowerPoint presentation, and and he shows something like a vote chori and all those
Go on.
things. So, how do you see? Do you see NDA comfortably winning Bihar?
See, I'll tell you what, if you are losing something, and this is generally in every field, you will panic. You will create a lot of hangama to say why I'm going to lose. This is exactly what Rahul Gandhi is doing. Haryana and Maharashtra, the Congress took it for granted that they're winning. We already won. That is what the logic was. But what happened? They lost Maharashtra and they lost Haryana. Maharashtra, they tried putting in some stories saying, what chori happened here, what chori happened there. And that too after 6 to 8 months or 1 year later. Haryana, they didn't make any excuse. Rajasthan, they lost, they didn't make any excuse. Madhya Pradesh, they lost, they didn't make any excuse. Chhattisgarh, they lost, they didn't make an excuse. Because Bihar is coming up for polls, they wanted to stop the special intensive revision, which the Supreme Court said, get lost. It's a constitutional mandate, it has to be done. Simple. Okay, there are differences in the process, whether Aadhaar card should be accepted as the 12th document and all that. But the entire thing went through. Now we are SIRs going all over the country. Telangana is getting ready, Kerala is getting ready, Tamil Nadu is getting ready. You cannot stop this process, Jaydev, because what it's doing, it's cleaning up your database. And I'm telling you, many people complain saying, why is Supreme Court allowing Aadhaar as a 12th document? I'm telling you, it's a great move. Moment you link Aadhaar to the EPIC, your voter ID number, it cannot be duplicated elsewhere. Everything else you can duplicate. You can get a fake ration card, you can do all that kind of stuff. But once your 16-digit Aadhaar is linked in the database to your EPIC number and to your name and your father's name, you cannot have one registration in Hyderabad and another one in Bihar. It doesn't work. The cleaning of database is long overdue. I'm happy that it's happening now through SIR. Whatever the final part of the judgment, we all know that it has gone through. 64 lakh people were missing in the list. And Congress and RJD made a hue and cry about it, saying they were prevented from registering. The Supreme Court said, okay, go ahead, register them. What happened? Only 1 lakh people have filed objections till date. I think even less than 1 lakh. It's around 89,000. Out of 64 lakhs, only 1 lakh people came back and said, we are here. We are not gone anywhere. We are not dead. We are not migrated. Now we have duplicate. And the best part, Jaydev, you would have realized, just 2 days before the deadline of, I think September 1st week it was, before the SIR is supposed to close in Bihar, 280,000 people came back and said, remove my name from the roll. Usually people will ask for the names to be added. 280,000 people came, and this is in Supreme Court records, and told the Election Commission of India online, please remove my name from the rolls. Why? Nobody asked that time. Even Supreme Court, I was surprised that nobody asked. Somebody mentioned, I think it was Ashwini Upadhyay or somebody, that these are duplicate voters. Because 1 week earlier, the wife of CPI MLA in Bihar I don't remember her name, was served a charge sheet. FIR was filed and a charge sheet made against her for having two voter ID cards. And that is the same thing which Pavan Khera has and his wife Nilima Kota has in Hyderabad and Delhi, and many other people have it. Okay, so what effectively has Bihar done is it has made Rahul Gandhi realize, and more importantly, it made Tejasvi Yadav realize that Rahul Gandhi is a baggage. Last time they were given 75 seats, they won just 15. You look at the strike ratio. RJD had a pretty impressive strike ratio. Come whatever said and done with Tejasvi. This time, if you see the opinion polls that have come till now, which I take, of course, with a pinch of salt, Congress is down from 15 to 10. That is why you see Tejasvi Yadav clearly said, I am going to contest. When he said I am, it doesn't mean that he's going to file the nomination in all the constituencies. He said RJD will contest all the seats. Congress can take the number given to them and leave. And Congress says RJD is giving them seats which they are sure to lose. That is, Congress is sure to lose. So look at the fact now. For all his vote chori and all his stuff, he is basically taking an anticipatory bail because he knows that he's going to lose. So he has a ready-made excuse saying, I lost because SIR was done. I lost because 63 lakh people were removed from the rolls. Otherwise, I would have got elected. He wants a dead to wake up and come and vote. That's what Rahul Gandhi wants. Or he wants people who have migrated to Mumbai and other cities to come and say, oh, I want to vote in Bihar. Sorry, those days are gone. Now technology is at work. The software has improved a lot, and surely enough, what we're seeing Rahul Gandhi do is an excuse. Rahul Gandhi never complained about vote chori in Telangana. He never complained about vote chori in Karnataka. In Telangana assembly election, Jaydev, BJP got 8 seats, assembly seats. In the Lok Sabha elections, which followed 6 months later, BJP got 8 Lok Sabha seats. Now, under a Lok Sabha seat, there are 6 assembly segments, sometimes 7, sometimes it's 6. We'll take 6 as the lower average, which means 8 into 6, 48 seats BJP should have won in the assembly elections, which were held 6 months earlier. Did BJP make a complaint about it, saying that we got only 8, not 64, because they were the vote chori? No, because people vote differently. They vote differently in an assembly election, and when it comes to a Lok Sabha election, it is usually, India has become a presidential style of election, like the American president, where 2 candidates or 3 candidates, and then people are asked to vote. And that's exactly why Modi ji says, forget the candidate, vote for me. And that is what it's done. I think Rahul Gandhi has lost, because his own party has lost the credibility. Because day in and day out, if he had the guts to file an affidavit as the election commission demanded on oath to say the document I've given is true, then people would have respected Rahul Gandhi. They don't respect him because he's only making allegations. I can also go onto a stage and make a PPT, but I'm not Rahul Gandhi. That's a problem. And he gets media guys who sit in the front row. My friend attended that press conference, and he was telling me that all the guys sitting in the front row were all Congress acolytes in the media. The others are all made to sit at the back because they will not get a chance to ask a question. And when one guy dared to ask the question, why are you not going to Supreme Court? He said, no, I'm only here I'm not here to save the constitution or some crap like that. So this is the problem. The old days there was a story of, Sher Aya, Sher Aya. One guy used to always keep saying in the village. Actually, there's no Sher that comes. And finally, when the real Sher came one day, nobody believed him. So that is what the problem is. Rahul Gandhi keeps making these allegations day in and day out. Let him just go to the court. He's got Abhishek Manu Singhvi, he's got Kapil Sibal, he's got Indira Jai Singh, he's got a whole works with him. Just go to the court. Supreme Court is always open for Rahul Gandhi, 24/7. He can go there. The judges are very pleased to have him. They will be more than happy because the defamation case tag also, Rahul Gandhi's case got tagged just because Kapil Sibal mentioned it. Imagine. And the judge is thanking Kapil Sibal at the end of it, saying, thank you, Mr. Sibal, for telling us this. Imagine. So you can guess what the judgment is going to be. Nevertheless, let Rahul Gandhi go to the Supreme Court or any high court and say, these are the fake things that have been done. Here is my affidavit. Here is under oath. Then he will realize what it is all about. Because he knows that the entire thing is fake. There might be 2 or 3% here or there. But the Aland kind of constituency, the Mahadevpura kind of story doesn't work. It doesn't hold any water, Jaydev.
Yeah. So going forward, Suresh ji, I think Modi ji has to be very careful because he has a lot of enemies outside India as well as inside India.
You always had, isn't it? I thought, he was denied a visa to the US when he was the Gujarat CM. What bigger enemy can you have than that? Okay. So it's not that Modi ji didn't have enemies. He always had enemies. Now the only thing is we know he has enemies because before this they used to hide under some table and do all the work. But now they come out to the open and challenging him. And that's a different because people said Gen Z, Gen Z, Gen Z, and all that kind of stuff. A lot of channels in Telugu called me to speak on this subject. And I said, you know what happened in Nepal? People forgot what happened in Nepal. The same guys who set fire to their parliament, set fire to the houses of the prime minister and other ministers are now in jail. You know that? Every young guy who the Gen Z characters who went setting everything fire, killing people, are being tracked down. Many of them have fled to India. In fact, if you see the Nepal media, the Nepal police is appealing to people to give them videos of people setting fire to things that day, sitting riots, creating riots that day. And this is what is needed. Today, no Gen Z will come out to the street of Nepal from now onward because they know the result of it. This is not done in Bangladesh. This is not done in Sri Lanka. If that was done in Sri Lanka, the Bangladesh thing would not have happened. But of course, that's more of a religious stuff. But what happened in Kathmandu was a pure overthrow of a government by the forces you know. But my point is very clear: the monarchy will come back, and Nepal will be a Hindu kingdom. That is what it was before it lost its shine. Now it's all coming back. And so-called Gen Z, you see in Hyderabad Central University, ABVP has never ever won more than 2 seats. This is the Rohit Vemula University, if you remember. This is where it all happened. ABVP got wiped out because of the acquisitions. 7 to 8 years they were in wilderness. Before that also they were hardly winning anything. This year they won everything on offer, right from the president to the cultural secretary and everything in between. Same thing happened in Delhi University. And what are the Congress coming up with an excuse now? On the EVM machine, somebody has used a pen to indicate that you should vote here for the BJP or rather the ABVP. Are the students so foolish that somebody puts a pen mark that they'll vote only to, if you're a Congress guy, they'll vote for Congress. In fact, the funny thing is, Jaydev, in fact, I tweeted about it, that the Congress in many cases in HCU, Hyderabad Central University, got less votes than Nota. Only 2 candidates got more votes than Nota, that too slightly more. Imagine they're scraping at the bottom of the barrel. And this Rahul Gandhi's Gen Z exhaustion saying people come protest, nothing will happen. No young Indian guy would like to sit in a jail for even one day. I'm not talking the political characters. A normal middle class Indian will never do that. The parents will kick them if they do that. Because for them, a career is important, not a police case, which will prevent them from getting a passport or a good job. Many 90% of the Indian youngsters have never seen a police station in their lives. People like me have seen, I'm not sure about you, but during the Jayaprakash Narayan movement, we have done that. We have gone on the streets, the Navjotman movement. We got pulled into the police stations. But those were heady days. Now you tell a youngster or a girl, you do a dharna, they will come. But the moment you say there's a water cannon and tear gas, they will run for their lives. This is what it is. They will never seen a police station. They've never seen how dirty a jail is. To go into a jail and see the toilets in the jail, they will never ever think of going to the streets again.
That was a wonderful session, Sureshji, and thank you again for coming to Candid Meena. We will see you
Thank you.
again next week. Jai
Sure.
Hind and Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.